Hey, Boo, how you doing?
Welcome to Yam Yam, the podcast where pop culture meets real talk with a side of soul food wisdom. Today's episode is a special one to me. It's episode 10. Can you all believe we have been doing this for 10 episodes straight? I can't. I want to take a moment to just celebrate that. Over the past 10 weeks, we've dived deep into topics about growth, healing, and learning how to embrace ourselves more fully, even when it's hard. Today, I want to reflect on this journey we've been on together and why celebrating progress rather than chasing perfection is so important. So grab your tea, find a cozy spot, and let's get into it. I've been thinking a lot lately about the concept of growth. We hear so much about becoming the best version of ourselves. No pun intended there. But what does it really mean? The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not about arriving at some perfect destination where we have it all together. Growth is about the little steps, the moments where we show up for ourselves, even when things feel uncertain. When I look back at our past episodes, every single one points back to this idea. When we talked about body positivity, we weren't just talking about loving every inch of ourselves all the time. We were talking about making peace with the parts of ourselves we've been taught to criticize. It's about accepting that some days self-love feels effortless and other days it feels impossible. And that's okay. And when we touched on imposter syndrome, the real takeaway was that nobody has it all figured out. Even the people we admire struggle with feelings of self-doubt. So if you're showing up, if you're trying, learning, and growing, you're already doing better than you think. The truth is, I want you to hold on to that today. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself consistently in the smallest of ways. That's where the real growth happens. But let's be honest, growth is rarely neat or tidy. In fact, it's often downright messy. So here's something I've learned. Real growth rarely looks like those inspirational quotes we see online. It's actually hard and real awkward. It's full of moments where we feel, or you feel, like you're falling apart before you start putting yourself back together. There have been so many times in my life when I felt like I wasn't making progress because things didn't feel smooth. But the truth is, growth happens in the discomfort. When everything feels uncertain, that's when you're evolving the most. Think about those moments when you're questioning everything. Those are the moments you're truly transforming. You know, my Nana, she used to say, the prettiest flowers bloom in the messiest dirt. And I carry that with me because it reminds me that the challenges we face aren't roadblocks. They're simply fertilizer. They help us grow, even when it doesn't feel like it in the moment. And I want you to remember something. Growth doesn't have to look like constant forward motion. Sometimes it's taking a step back, reassessing, and trusting that you're still moving in the right direction, even if it's slower than you like. But growth doesn't just happen in the big, life-altering moments. It's often in the small wins we barely notice. Let's get into that. We live in a world where we always celebrate the big milestones, like the promotions, the new relationship, the major life changes. But what about the little things? What about those quiet moments of progress that often go uncelebrated? I've learned that those small wins, the days you get out of bed, even when you don't feel like it, the moment you say no to something that doesn't serve you, or how about the times you take 5 minutes just to breathe and check in with yourself? Those are victories too, and they deserve to be acknowledged. For me, a huge small win was starting this podcast. There were moments of self-doubt where imposter syndrome set in for me. But I showed up anyway. And I'm here today, 10 episodes in. Because of the small, consistent steps I took, it feels like such a big deal because it is. And it feels so meaningful to me. I'm just so glad I didn't give up. What's one small win you've had recently? Think about that for a moment. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be yours. Hold on to that feeling for a second and give yourself permission to celebrate it. So I know what you're thinking. Now that we're on episode 10, obviously there'll be episode 11, but where do we go from here? Here's the thing. Growth is ongoing. There's no finish line, no moment when you finally feel like you've arrived. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing. It means there's always room to evolve, to heal, to become a little more of who you're meant to be. One of the things Nana used to tell me was, you're not done growing until you stop breathing. You're not done growing until you stop breathing. And that stayed with me because it's a reminder that we're always in motion. Every day is a new opportunity to show up for ourselves, to be kinder, to love a little more deeply. As we celebrate episode 10, I want to thank you for being here with me on this journey. It's been a ride, and we're just getting started. The progress you've made, whether you realize it or not, deserves to be celebrated. But wait, before we go, to mark this special milestone, I want to do something to celebrate you. I've created an exclusive bonus episode called Grounded in Growth, a guided meditation to celebrate your journey. And I'm giving it away for free. Here's how you get it. Follow me on TikTok at Yam Yam Pod and comment on my latest post with a small win you're celebrating. That's it. Once you've done that, I'll send you a private link to the meditation. It's a way for me to thank you for being a part of this community and to give you something to help you pause, breathe, and celebrate your own progress. Thank you for being here with me for episode 10. Cheers, and here's to many more weeks of growth together. And remember, be the best possible version of yourself. Take care.
I'm just checking on you, okay? I love you. Bye.